numbers like surgeons' decisions. They got the stats playing minds like percussion. MLB predictions spark the discussion. Stacking cash high in Fenway's monster. Slinging wild bets like cowboy imposters. Reading those innings like Nostradamus. Wave the green, hot streets like Bahamas. Spreadsheets everywhere, mathematician minds analyze the games, profits they grind, fastballs, curveballs, every pitcher's tail, in their heads, knuckleballs never fail. Erik reading numbers like tarot cards, David calling shots like all-star guards, money lines, parlays, come hit with precision, home run predictions, no intermission. High stakes, ballers cashing checks in, rise with the bets, swinging from the pen. Erik and David, masters of the scoreboard. MLB bets and claim they hoard. High stakes, ballers cashing checks in, rise with the bets, swinging from the pen. Erik and David, kings of the ledger. Baseball fortune spread them like treasure.
Hello and welcome to Diamond Bets for June 6th. How is everyone doing? My name is Erik. I'm the man behind eTop21 Sports, and that is my co-host David, aka Better DP21. David, how are you doing today, my man?
Doing well. It's been kind of a crazy Friday, so I actually really appreciate being here right now to kind of clear my head and woosah and put out the good energy for cashing tickets tonight.
I am just donating money to Saratoga right now. It's just like, here you go, buddy. Saratoga, just take my money. That's where the Belmont is. Here. And I'm babysitting my nephews and changing diapers. So that's how my Friday is going on. So if you hear WrestleMania 58 going on in the background, I will have to sprint upstairs to break it up. And also, the best part of the little intro we have is the part where you are drinking the fifth of Belvedere just right out of the bottle. That is my favorite part. Look, guys, I'm not going to lie, totally spaced on recapping last week. Basically 3-3. If you follow our bets, we made money. I'll do a better job on the graphics, a little bit behind with some personal stuff going on. Not going to talk about that, though. We're going to dive right into our bets, and we're going to build you a DFS lineup. We each have 3 bets. David, you are starting us off, and you know what? I hate the Cubs. I love the Tigers, so I hate this bet.
Yeah, so getting started, like Erik just said, looking at the Cubs versus Tigers matchup, I mean, I don't know how anybody out there doesn't see this as a great bet today. So much value in this. It's insane. First of all, let's start with the offensive side. The Cubs are my 9th ranked offensive team coming into this matchup. They have been averaging about 5 runs over their last few games, respectively, right? And then on the opposite end of things, the Tigers are actually averaging about 2.5 runs a game. So this isn't going to come down to pitching. This is going to come down to offense. The pitching is great on both sides. Ben Brown actually delivered his best outing of the season, pitching 6 shutout innings, allowing 1 hit, striking out 9 in his most recent performance on May 31st. Over his last few games, he's pitched a total of 15 innings, 15 earned on 15 hits and 2 walks, resulting in a whip of 1.13. Doing very, very well for himself. His recent performance is highlighting really good potential as a reliable starter for the Cubs here. On the opposite side of the mound, Tariq Skubal, still as dominant ace as ever for the Tigers, combining very effective strikeout ability, commendable control. He's actually averaging for himself a whip under 1, so approximately 0.76. So both these pitchers really good form, but the Cubs have the better hitting here. So I am leaning on offense to outright win this matchup at the end of the day here, just based on overall offensive performance. The Tigers are ranked my number 22. So that's in my bottom 10, almost in my bottom 5 for where we're going into this season. And anytime I see such a large offensive discrepancy in teams, I will obviously bet on the team that's hitting. That's all you're ever going to get out of me when you come to these episodes, right? Like I say it every week, bet on the teams that are scoring runs, bet on the teams that are hitting well. Those are the teams that are going to come out. I'm matching that up with a pitcher of theirs in Ben Brown, who has had some of his best pitching performances come to light in the recent weeks as well. So matching up great pitching with great offense in the Cubs, plus 167 is a price I can't get away from. I am all in on this value play today.
I hear your reasoning and I like it, but just because the Tigers are my team and I hate the Cubs, I hate it. My first bet, I'm going to the first 5. Give me the, do we call them the Sacramento Athletics? Just give me the Athletics. I really don't know what to call them the Athletics.
I like this one a lot, by the way.
Baltimore has really struggled this season against left-handed pitching. They have the worst batting average, scored the second fewest runs against lefties. Let's shrink the sample size down to over the past week, even worse. Second worst batting average and dead last in runs scored against Southpaws. Tonight they're going to face JP Sears. Great matchup for him. Sears leads heavily on the sweeper. He throws it 32% of the time, and it's very effective. Off-speed, pitch, run value +4, ranking in the 89th percentile. The Orioles only have 3 players in their lineup that have a positive run value against the sweeper. They struggled against it all season against breaking balls. I really think Sears is going to exploit that. Flip side, we got Dean Kremer starting for Baltimore. His pitch run value -5, ranks in the 16th percentile. Four-seam fastball is the pitch he uses the most. Has a 0 run value ranking, 48th percentile. That's not going to cut it against the A's lineup. The A's expected to have 7 hitters with a positive run value against the four-seamer. And don't forget, the ball is carrying in Sacramento this season. Kramer's ground ball rate is only 41%, which is a little bit concerning, especially when opponents are hitting .278 with a .459 slugging percentage against him. The A's, meanwhile, have been red hot against righties this past week. They have the 5th highest batting average, have scored the most runs against right-handed pitchers this season. On the other hand, Baltimore just 28.6% on the money line this season with a negative 42.2% ROI. All signs point to great value here. Give me the A's for the first 5 plus 108. Next bet, my friend.
Yeah, so next bet is going to be interesting. So we got Diamondbacks at the Reds. I'm taking the D-backs on their run line at -1 being the way team. As you may have heard from any other previous episodes that we do, I like betting run line on the away teams. They're guaranteed 9 at-bats, right? They're going to put runs across. Sometimes people like to do the -1.5. I do the -1 in case they just, for some reason, only win by 1 run, right? It's a push scenario for ourselves. It gives us a little protection. You still get dog money. You're plus 108, on that end. So that's the reasoning for the odds themselves. Now let's talk about the offense here. Diamondbacks, number 2 all in offensive ranking team. They've been putting up runs in bunches, and they did it against my team in Atlanta. Coming out of that series, they were averaging about 7 runs a game, and I bet them every single day. I bet against my team in Atlanta. That just lets you all know I have no bias in my betting. I am betting on the teams that are winning and hitting, putting up runs, scoring runs, showing you that I'm following exactly the same trend and position of offensive ranking that I'm doing with this show. So I'm following that into this series here because when you look at this matchup, again, like I said, Diamondbacks been averaging about 7 runs a game. They went crazy in Atlanta, really hot bat. They had hot bats coming into Atlanta. They've been carrying that through this whole week. The Reds, on the other hand, my number 25 ranked offensive team. They're averaging 2.3 runs themselves per game right now, so they are not hitting the ball very well for themselves. It's a very interesting pitching matchup because what we have here is Eduardo Rodriguez set to return from the IL today. And, so this is – and he wasn't looking, particularly challenging to start his season either. So I'm hopeful that the shoulder issue contributed to his early struggles. I don't know what that means in terms of today, but again, I am not basing this on pitching. I'm basing this purely on offense. The way that this offense is coming through, I think they can help out any pitcher that they have going forward. And I have a hard time getting away from, again, just like I talked about in the last matchup, when I see such an offensive discrepancy between these teams, you're going to have the team, no matter who's on the mound for them, throwing well or not, they're going to be over there putting up runs for their pitcher. So I'm all in on Arizona, supporting Eduardo coming back from the IL. Now, I do want to kind of talk a little bit about Nick Lodolo as well. He's not doing terrible for himself. He's been a reliable starter for the Reds. He's maintained a respectable ERA and WHIP right about 1.1. So, he's got a solid role in the rotation. He's contributing significantly to the Reds' success. They just don't have the offenses, coming into this matchup. The results of his last 3 games that he's actually pitched, though, he's actually showing a WHIP of 1.5. So he's definitely indicating areas of improvement where I think Arizona's bats are going to get hot, get in front of them, put up runs in bunches like they have been in the recent series for themselves. And I think they'll continue that momentum starting out today here on Friday.
I'm still bitter about that over I didn't get when I had to do this by myself when you were traveling the world like you're Billy Big Time. I'm still
that'll
bitter.
be next week too, by the way.
You're gone next week. Jeez, dude. Billy Big Time over here. My next bet, I'm going up to the MKE. Give me the Brewers here, -0.5 for the first 5 at -108. This is just a straight fade of the Phillies. Of the Padres. San Diego's been really struggling against right-handed pitching over the past week. They've posted the worst batting average, have scored the second fewest runs against righties during that time. Chad Patrick is starting for the Brewers. He's been solid. His pitch run value is +7. That's in the 85th percentile. Leans heavily on the cutter. All the Padres have really struggled against that pitch outside of Jackson Merle. Randy Vasquez takes the mound for San Diego. He's not looked that good. His pitch run value is -3, putting him in the 25th percentile. Even though his ERA is 3.99 per Baseball Savant, his expected ERA is an ugly 5.80. That's in the 7th percentile. Opponents are batting .251 against them. Also per Baseball Savant, 278, 18th percentile. So he's obviously due for a little bit of negative regression. He throws the cutter a lot too. Milwaukee's expected to feature 4 hitters with a positive run value against that pitch. Trend-wise, we're looking at the Brewers, 61.9% in the first 5 with a 40% ROI on the spread line. When they're a favorite, they're covering 70%, 41.6% ROI. Meanwhile, when we look at the Padres, I know people think, Padres is a dog on the spread line, first 5. They're just covering 41.7% of the time. So the metrics, the momentum, give me the Brewers here. I took -0.5 at -108. And our last one, it's not really a head-to-head. It's like a mini head-to-head. You know what I mean? It's not really a head-to-head, but
yeah, a little bit.
It's a mini head-to-head here.
Yeah, so last matchup, we both got something in this game. I got, Mariners versus Angels. I'm taking the Angels on the money line here. I got them at +117. Again, this is a discrepancy in offense out of the gate here. Angels been one of the hottest hitting teams, similar to everybody else I just kind of named, but they've been averaging over 6.5 runs themselves in recent series. They are hitting in bunches since Trout came back. Really great. Even Adele has gotten off, starting to find his swing with his home run swing as well. So everybody's contributing in their own ways. The Angels are quietly, you just don't think of them as an offensive, juggernaut coming into some series. This one, they're my number 3 ranked overall offensive team coming into this series with the Mariners. Mariners been disappointing, but they've only been averaging about 2 to 3 runs a game for themselves. I got an average of about 2 runs for them. So they're my number 27 ranked team coming into this. So 3 versus 27 in offense.
Yeah.
Kind of like a really big discrepancy there. Again, betting on teams that are hitting well. Let's talk about the pitching side of this thing as well. Bryce Miller over his last, few outings for himself. He's pitched a total of 13 innings, allowed 20 hits, 3 walks. It's resulting in a WHIP of about 1.77. it's huge. I mean, that to me is just letting people on base at a clip of 2 base runners an inning. It's going to give so many chances for LA to put runs across the runs on the board early, in my opinion here. So it's not looking good for Seattle. Now, don't get me wrong, Kyle Hendricks is on the opposite side. He's on that teeter mark that I always talk about. I always say, watch for the whips of about 1.4. That's where he's lying for himself over his recent outings. But I think at home, I think he gathers himself. I love the offensive play of this, at least for the Angels already having hot, series bats coming into this, having an advantage over a pitcher who's also putting on, has a high whip himself in Bryce Miller. Everything's leaning Angels here in terms of where you're trying to go. I think this is another dog money line that we can take advantage of early here.
All right, I like it, and there's a scenario when we can both win our bets because I am taking JP Crawford over 1.5 total bases at plus 125. Been on fire over the last week. He has the most hits against right-handed pitching. During that stretch, 632. This is all against righties. 632 batting average, 667 on base percentage, 9.47 slugging percentage, and a 1.614 on base. Those numbers are elite. He's facing your boy Kyle Hendricks, who mostly throws breaking balls. And when we look at that, -6 run value on that pitch, ranking in the 3rd percentile. Crawford, on the other hand, he crushes that pitch. Just looking at his metrics, just facing the breaking ball, 4-17 batting average, 6.67 slugging percentage, +3 run value, and a 64% hard hit rate. He's gone over this total 4 of his last 5 games at every game but one this past week. Love the value here, so I'm taking JP Crawford over 1.5 total bases at plus 125. Let's go ahead. Let's bring up the old DK lineup. Now, obviously, put hitters, boom. I'm just putting in Crawford right away, my man.
Okay.
Just putting in Crawford.
I mean, he's cheap. There you go. He's cheap.
Dude,
you're starting off with a cheap one, You can have it 3 ways, Eric. Cheap, fast, or good. You don't get to pick 2.
Oh, dude, we're trying to keep.
I went cheap.
I got kids in the building, so I'm gonna keep this PG. I got kids in the building. So so let me pull up my.
Where's Ben Brown in our pitching? I want to put him in there. I think he's going to be. Do we have Cubs on the board today?
Yeah. 7,000. Boom. So I just
normally I would say Cal Raleigh is my automatic catcher.
I'll tell you what, dude. I'll give that guy mad props because, dude, I was when I was driving yesterday. I thought I was going to lose my bet because freaking Wu had a wild pitch, but that sly son of a bitch jacked a home run.
Home run leader in all of MLB, I think. Pretty sure.
I can't tell what bet is worse for me. Rocker to win the Rookie of the Year or Juan Soto to lead everybody in home runs. So look, we got Lawrence Butler. He's been doing good. A lot like Raleigh's got the second most.
But we definitely have to put some Oakland people in there, right? So,
so I kind of like Butler. So let me go to all here. Butler. Boom.
There you go. Get your guy.
So we got Butler, we got Crawford. I'm looking at it. What about Swartzen? I kind of like Swartzen too.
Who is that?
Swartzen.
Oh yeah, Soderstrom.
Soderstrom, dude. I can't fucking talk.
Yeah, He's been pretty amazing as well. I wouldn't mind doubling down on athletics.
Um,
What else am I thinking of? All right, I mean, you gotta look at LA. Gotta look at the Angels.
who
What
in
we
the
got from them?
you mentioned Trout.
Well, I'm just kind of curious where they land with prices, right? Like somebody like
Too.
Joe Adele would be a sneaky play in there, depending on price and where they kind of land.
Adele, A-D.
ELL.
Yeah.
I mean, Trout's been lighting it up too. He's 476. I mean, he's
So look, Adele
right there.
right there, boom, 3,300. That's
Yep.
pretty good. So we got that.
What else was I trying to look at? Anybody on the Red Sox this week we want to get in there?
My boy Jackson, that buddy. Dude, my internet is so slow here, dude. Jackson Cheerio.
Oh yeah.
There he
Oh
is.
God, dude. you got to get him in there.
I mean, he's at 4,900.
Yes, 100%. He has been the hottest hitter in baseball.
Nice. We got Jackson in there. Need to go third base here. Dude, my internet is so slow. You want to go Devers?
You can always go Devers.
All right, you know what? Before we go Devers, let's figure out what pitcher do we want.
What pitcher? Oh yeah.
Let's do that. What pitcher? What pitcher? I mean, do you want to go Patrick? Do you want to go Patrick? Patrick
Brewers?
Yeah.
I'm looking.
I mean, the Padres have been struggling as right-handed pitchers.
I think so. Yeah.
I mean,
I think that's a good one.
Liking anything I'm seeing up there, so we'll go Patrick right here. Boom.
I like that.
Oh shit! Premature click.
Maybe it was meant to be. Let me go check on what he's doing. Hold on a second.
All right, so
Hoppy.
Dude, we can go with your boy Riley, but the only thing is,
we're not doing no Hoppy.
Is that leads to
our situation as always. We get down to the last two.
Yeah.
Well, it's like 5,000 each. I mean, that's not bad.
Yeah. So what does? Let's go all.
Show me second base. Just do second base.
Dude, part of my issue is I have no idea off the top of my head what positions fuckers play. He plays outfield. Fuck him. Second base. I mean, dude, terrain's been good lately.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm gonna go terrain.
Yep, for sure.
That brings us to third base. I'm looking here.
Let me look at a couple of people. I think Riley's been pretty hot. I would be interested in. No, I am wrong. Let me see. Machado. Go Machado. Oh, wait.
Patrick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me look. Michael? How about Michael? Michael, 4,600. Garcia against the White Sox.
I can't even fucking spell. I can't spell at all.
He's in the middle.
Boom.
What does that leave us? Does that leave room for our boy?
No.
Oh.
All right. So I feel with how good he's been, we're just gonna get him in there. So we gotta get a new third baseman. So
Suarez, maybe? Oh, that's only 100. We need to go down to 43.
Muncy.
Muncy? Is that
Over
who we
the
put?
last week, third most RBIs,
Oh, yeah. That dude's on fire.
11th most runs. So there you have
All
it.
right.
We have Brown, Patrick, Riley, Swordstrom, Terang, Muncy, J.P. Crawford, Lawrence Butler, Adele, and Jackson Cheerio for our DFS lineup. Now I have to figure out. I'll tell you what, man. I never appreciated having like a dual screen until I shoot from a road game, if that makes sense. Because I have no idea what window I was at right now. So that is it. That is our DFS lineup. I'd like to thank David for coming on, talking a little MLB. Hopefully make you guys some money. David, why don't you tell everyone where they can find you on social media, my friend?
Yep. As always, look for me on X or Instagram and reach out where you want to. Shoot me a DM. I'd be happy to talk about any matchup that you have interest in and, how I'm seeing the board. So thanks for having me on as always, man. Always a pleasure.
Make sure to give my boy a follow and best of luck in your bets. And I'm sure I'll be texting and bitching all night tonight.
Always.
All right, brother. Good luck. And I'll be back next week. Cool boy David will be back in 2 weeks.
Yep.
All right.